We all know that. We all know they are players on that fever team. And Sophie Cunningham is somebody who has who is signed to play in Project B, which is obviously a really important league for the WNBA players right now, because it's making them a shitload of money. I'm going to be honest, it is making them a ton of money. And when it came to Sophie Cunningham didn't.
It utterly destroyed any notion that things were improving. Man, this thing just exploded and hit the league like a ton of bricks. A new image appears just as everyone was rejoicing over Caitlin Clark's invitation to the senior training camp. It was meant to be a greeting from Team USA, but the person who fans were hoping to see wasn't there. It felt like a purposeful slap in the face for the most significant player in women's basketball to change the course of the game. A public benching that sparked a huge uproar and infuriated fans. This wasn't only an error. The message was loud and clear, and the authorities were completely silent. It was utterly deafening.
The Thanksgiving edition of the Show Me Something podcast has hit YouTube. I guess also hit wherever you get your podcast from. That, of course, is Sophie Cunningham's podcast, right? Well, we, of course, found out that Sophie joined Project B, and she gives a little insight on that. Well, while giving insight on it...
And see, this isn't the first time it has occurred. It still hurts to think about that entire Olympic roster fiasco. At that point, despite a huge public outcry, Clark was inexplicably left off the team. Many believed, which now appears quite naive, that USA basketball had truly learned its lesson from that grave error. However, we are witnessing yet another utterly perplexing choice that puts women's sports development on hold once more. Now the pattern is so clear. Instead than viewing Caitlin Clark's enormous popularity as a huge opportunity, they regard it as some sort of issue. It's a major strategic error that is confounding everyone and costing sports a great deal. The biggest figures in sports were criticizing the initial Olympic rejection. The head of the 2028 Olympics, whose sole responsibility is to engage people worldwide, officially stated that excluding Clark was a horrible idea. Then there was Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, who made the same statement. He was aware that it was a major lost opportunity to significantly advance women's basketball. You know, they aren't just some lighthearted remarks. These are harsh critiques from the highest echelons of the sports industry, and they reveal a significant gap in the decision-making process of USA basketball. The leadership's message was very obvious, but they chose to ignore it entirely. Just try to imagine how furious NBC must have been, or at least how frustrated they should have been. If Clark had been on that Olympic team, the TV ratings would have absolutely shattered records. We could have been talking about numbers that were up there with the legendary Dream Team, especially considering how people watch media these days. Instead, that golden opportunity was just completely wasted. All that potential for unbelievable ratings was just left sitting on the table. It wasn't just a win for women's basketball. It was a guaranteed ratings bonanza for the broadcasters. A massive financial and cultural moment just deliberately thrown away. It's an incredibly short-sighted move that cost millions in potential money and exposure. Christine Brennan, a well-known sports journalist, recently posted something that truly infuriated the fans. She made a point that was both straightforward and extremely potent. It goes without saying that USA Basketball would have featured Caitlin Clark prominently on their promotional images if they really wanted to promote the sport and attract new fans. Her criticism went viral and was straightforward but devastating. It garnered more than 250,000 views and made USA Basketball extremely defensive. It was simply this unmistakable evidence that the public could see straight through the organization's feeble attempts to engage people, demonstrating a stark discrepancy between their stated objective and their real actions. I recall seeing that. The image itself told so much. Although it included other really gifted players like Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum, it was clear who was absent. The one athlete who has unquestionably become the face of the entire sport has suddenly vanished. The sentiment was evident on social media. "Who are these players again?" was one of the comments made. Now, denigrating other athletes is not the point of this. It's about genuinely recognizing a worldwide occurrence. USA Basketball appears committed to putting its own internal politics ahead of common sense, as evidenced by its refusal to promote their most well-known and marketable athlete. It's an entirely perplexing tactic that deliberately undermines the objectives they purport to have.